We're spending a weekend riding bikes in Toronto, the fourth biggest city in North America with so much to love, except maybe their hockey team. Hey buds, we have a full weekend of riding bikes ahead of us, and our first order of business was to ride to one of our favorite bike shops called Dismount. I was really excited to finally show this place off on the channel because it's been a favorite for a long time. We were actually here for a wedding. Emma and I both have family here, and I used to live here before moving to Ottawa, so Toronto kind of feels like a second home to us. But wedding or not, we still planned a lot of riding, a lot of bike shop tours, a lot of coffee and sandwich quests because our bike obsession knows no end. Dismount is a longtime favorite of mine for many reasons, and in my opinion, a great bike shop is more than just a spot with cool gear. They're community hubs. Dismount sets the bar high with a great coffee bar as soon as you walk in. They do weekly community rides, and honestly, they're just superb human beings. But they're also a spot full of cool gear. They have a lot of the niche brands that we love, brands that are often considered alt, but the shop is full of stuff for all types of riding and all types of bike fans. So let's have a look around. Starting with frame sets, they had all the greatest hits from Crust Bikes when I was here. This Romancer frame probably was my favorite one, but it's pretty hard to pick. Dismount always has a really intentional curation of frames and components. They've turned me on to so many brands over the years and just customizing my bike in general. They also had a great selection of Wilde Bikes, and if you've watched our channel before, you'll know I'm a fan, and I just recently built up one of these Supertramp frames. Since that bike has a curved top tube, I was excited to see this custom bag that they brought in from Sodero. Also this custom brass top cap from Yellowbird Threadworks. I always enjoy when shops bring more soft goods and accessories in like this. Skate shops do it, why can't more bike shops do it? Over in handlebar land, I was mesmerized by these Crust towel rack bars. Super wide, I think 630 millimeters wide. They looked really fun. And they had plenty more fun bars like Simworks and Nito, some Wilde, some Crust bars. You can never have too many handlebars. And as we get more into components and accessories, I was thinking another marker of a great shop, in my opinion at least, is one that deepens your connection with your bike. And again, community is big for this, but so is dialing in your fit, finding more nuanced gear that matches your style of riding, or just making your bike look nicer. If you're gonna do anything in this life, you might as well make it look good. So I could stay here a while and yap about everything I saw, but what I'll say instead is you can feel their passion for the alternative bike brands, the small makers, and custom builds, but simultaneously it's a well-rounded shop that's inclusive and not elitist. If you find yourself here and you like bikes, definitely pop in.
It may not look like it, but this is one of the most bike-friendly streets in the city. Bikes drastically outnumber cars in some sections because it was designed for bikes first. Part of the secret sauce here is that the car direction changes every 1 to 2 blocks to prevent through traffic. Simple, but super effective. So we were counting down the time until we could justify a sandwich and a coffee quest, and I think that time has come. The older we get, the more we enjoy exploring neighborhoods over landmarks, and I think that a coffee quest, or many coffee quests, is the best way to do that. We often stay in this little Portugal area when we're visiting. We feel like this area of Toronto has the best cafes, the best food and shops nearby. Plus, it just has a ton of character and green space.
Lambos Deli, probably the spot that we were told to go try the most, and right away it looks like somewhere that I want to be. My Italian blood craves it, and I don't have the impulse control to keep cold cuts at home. Emma grabbed a turkey pesto sandwich and I went for the mortadella. We didn't have to wait too long either, plus it was so nice out, it was just nice to take it all in. I noticed a trend in this neighborhood where a few places leave old signage up on their building from, say, an old bodega or whatever came before them. I really like that, it adds character. So we got our sandwiches, we took them to a park nearby, and there was a comment on a recent video of ours where someone said all you do with that cargo bike is haul sandwiches around. So if you're watching, this one's for you.
40B.
sandwiches were delicious, and this park was excellent too. If you're into people watching, this is definitely the place for you. Sacks are being hackeyed, lines are being slacked. Alright, back on the bikes to find coffee and check out another bike shop. It was at this moment I finally realized what the color palette of the Monopole cargo bike reminds me of. So Toronto can offer a high level of chaos if that's your thing, and as you just saw, sometimes that's my thing. But at the same time, I wouldn't call it a chaotic place. It's more that there's a higher level of awareness shared amongst everyone here, so honestly, I end up feeling safer on these streets than I do riding similar streets back where I live. And I know this doesn't mean I'm immune to the risk involved. I'm enjoying the ride, but always calculating. The bike I'm riding is a Monopole cargo bike. I was testing it out for a few months last summer, and it was more than just a cargo bike to me. It's an interesting bike with its cargo capabilities, but they really retained a playful and sporty feel. I didn't have any cargo to lug around with me, I just wanted to see how it handled a city like this, and I think it did excellent. But also, the fact that I could bring it here on my vehicle and fit it inside a small Airbnb was excellent. Another recommended spot, and this one was recommended by some bike pals. We think that bike people know the best coffee spots, so maybe best sip in town is factually accurate. Coffee report. It was the best sip in town we had. It was excellent, very refreshing on this hot summer day, and now we're off to another bike shop that's not too far away. This is Pedaal, and they describe their shop with just 2 words, bikes and coffee. I'm in. They're one of the newer shops here in Toronto, and it's a pretty specific bike shop. Cargo bikes and bromptons are their thing, and they do it really well. The shop is pretty small, but it's full of bikes. For cargo bikes, they mainly had the Bullitt Cargo bikes by the Danish brand Larry vs. Harry. I've always been a big fan of these, so I was really enjoying seeing all the different finishes, talking about different builds. This one belonged to one of the staff members, and we actually got talking about my Monopole as well. In a way, I felt like I was introducing it to some of its friends, like a cargo bike dog park. We admittedly don't know too much about bromptons, but the staff is the best here. They were really excited to give us the lowdown. Emma took one out for a spin. She ended up really liking it. Part of me wonders how many bromptons do they deliver on their cargo bikes, and maybe that's part of their plan all along. Back in the shop, we did not get around to ordering a coffee this time, all the more reason to come back, and the menu looked just as interesting as their bikes. All around, this place felt really special, another really intentional curation of bikes and gear, while also serving their community as a cafe. Really cool. We had to move from one Airbnb to another, so here I am racing across town to go do that.
Jumping in here quickly to tell you about the sponsor of today's video, Fantic. Something we're adding to our kit this year is this Ace X9 electronic pump. If you've watched the channel before, you know we're big fans of all-terrain riding here, and this is going to be a perfect tool for quick tire pressure adjustments going from the trail to the road. So I have my wheel here. You're just going to attach it like this, set your PSI, hit the button, and you're in business. That's all it takes. The pump will automatically stop at your set PSI, so there's no risk of blowing a tire, and it can actually get up to 100 PSI in 32 seconds. The part that attaches to your valve is also dual-sided, so Schrader, Presta, it works for both. This is definitely going to fit into a bike bag with a lot of room to spare, but if you want to go even smaller, you could also check out the X10 Ace Mini or the X10 Ace Tiny, which will definitely fit into a pocket easily. If you're looking to add one of these to your kit, you can use the link that you see on the screen here. It's also in the video description. Thank you again to Fantic for the support on this video, and let's get back to the ride.
I found myself racing a very fast kid because what else do aging millennials do? And I'll have you know that I did win, but then I faced the final boss of the bike lane. The race is not over yet because Emma opted to ride her bike to the new Airbnb while I drove our car and our luggage over, so she wanted to see if it was faster to bike. Game on.
Get him. I think I got 5 minutes on him. We're starting today off with a gravel loop in the city, but first, of course, we had to grab a coffee, and this spot was recommended by a friend of the channel who actually also recommended the route that we'll be riding. Toronto's such a big city, and it feels like we're always finding new places to ride when we visit, but I have to say, a gravel route was not something we expected in the core of the city. We lucked out with another beautiful weather day, so we headed out. So the Beltline Trail is actually a popular route that Dismount uses in their group rides. The trail's built on an old commuter railway line built back in 1892. Apparently it was only in use for about 2 years, then just sat abandoned until this trail opened in the 80s. Our ride started out on the Beltline, and it took us through this big cemetery, which isn't somewhere we'd usually ride. We weren't in the cemetery long though before we were back in a wooded area, this really nice ravine. It was super peaceful in here and just nice to shut our brains off for a few minutes.
Oh yeah. That ever nice.
We were going down the slightest hill for the longest time, and it was a lovely little break from all the streets we rode the day before. When we looked up this route, it suggested we ride it in the opposite direction, but we took a look at the elevation, and I'm really glad we decided to do it this way and descend on these long, uninterrupted gravel sections. The route spit us out right at the bottom of the city, but it was pretty successful into tricking you into thinking you're outside the city core. I loved seeing the community out and about. There were so many families out with strollers, grandpas out for leisurely walks, and people walking their dogs. Nothing like the collective joy that is a day in the park to make you feel connected to the people around you. And with that under our belts, time for a sandwich. Ride bike, eat sandwich. This is the deli of my dreams, and it's called Vilda's. Don't get confused by the no bregas sign out front. It's an homage to the beloved shop of 53 years that came before. The owners are Jewish and Italian respectively, and that mix of powerhouse culinary heritage definitely shows in the menu. On a given day, you might see matzo soup, chicken Caesar sandwiches, and other classics, but with some kind of a twist. Something that I feel sets them apart from the usual bread and heavy meat options is the fresh veggies in everything they do. I had the chicken salad sandwich, and Brendan was too hungry and forgot to show his off, but both were delicious and we highly recommend.
Blue Lug window sign is like a mousetrap for me, except it's not bad. I'm a willing participant and I'll go right in. So this is Brockton Cyclery, another shop that we like to visit whenever we're here. Right away, Emma found another contender for the world's widest drop bars. These ones were comically large. So Brockton is another great spot for that crossover between urban riding and adventure riding. Surly represents that world pretty well. And speaking of which, someone had this custom Surly Straggler waiting for them, and this one was built up with all of the nice things. I imagine it's an absolute joy to ride. As I mentioned, I was excited to see them bringing more Blue Lug to Canada. If you're unfamiliar with Blue Lug, they're kind of the goats when it comes to customizing your bike, and their own line of stuff is well priced and just super fun. I ended up grabbing some tapered brass spacers, and Emma got herself this fun translucent bag. Overall, I think we practiced pretty good restraint. There was a lot of great gear that I didn't have time to capture, so I would recommend checking out this shop. Believe it or not, the cargo bike does all-terrain rides pretty well. It's punchy. Sometimes it feels like you're riding two bikes as you navigate the front wheel around something and then you wait for the back tire to hit it. But I got pretty supple tires on it and I had a blast out here. It's also not too heavy, so if there's a fallen tree or if you're walking up some section, it's not that bad to push the bike or lift it.
One more coffee. Let's go. So admittedly, I broke my no coffee after 4 p.m. rule, but nothing beats this kind of late afternoon speckled light, and this cold brew was definitely worth it. As the kids say, the vibes were very right. We loosely had a plan to go find pizza, but honestly, it was more of an excuse just to roll around a bit more. I was feeling grateful to ride this wave of energy that we somehow found. As we mentioned, we were here for a wedding and there were a lot of events going on, but it is amazing to me how when you're traveling, it's like you unlock a different level of energy. The energy in Toronto in the summer is also really contagious. The parks and the patios are absolutely bumping. And one thing about Canadian cities is as soon as the temperature is above freezing, you cannot keep us inside. So we've got 2 pies on board, and it was hard smelling that aroma on the ride back to the Airbnb. It took all our willpower not to stop and inhale them. I can feel the locals in the comments section telling me we should have tried this spot called Pedaal, which apparently is some of the best pizza in North America, but listen, that lineup though.
I tried making it to one more bike shop, but I wasn't fast enough, so I'm going to wrap this video up here. Please leave a comment below if you haven't already. That really helps us out. Same goes for subscribing if you haven't. Check out some merch at bikebreath.com, and I'll catch you on the next one. Thank you so much for watching this far. Peace.